Jealousy can be the most dangerous emotion, especially when it leads to toxic or abusive behavior. However, what happens when it doesn't lead to toxic or abusive behavior? What happens when jealousy leads to murder? Let's find out right now. Wednesday, my Cajun cuties. Yes, it's me, Anne-Marie, aka the Cajun Crime Queen from Carrico, Louisiana. Cajun born, Cajun bred, and when I die, I'll be Cajun dead. I hope after this video that you like, subscribe, and comment, and don't forget to press notification bell so you never miss a video from me, Anne-Marie. I hope you have a beverage. I hope you have a snuggle partner or a snuggle fur partner. Those are the best, and you're ready to hear a true crime story with yours truly. And as always, I want to know, are you drinking that water? Are y'all staying hydrated? Are y'all getting those tickets out? Remember, just a quick 20-30 minute walk, especially first thing in the morning, get those endorphins up, and you're going to have an amazing, wonderful day, I promise you. And as always, thank you all for joining me on this Wicked Wednesday evening as we discuss another true crime case. Today, we are going to be discussing a case that deals with jealousy. And the crazy thing about this case is that this happens more often than we think. Jealousy is a very dangerous emotion and can make people do things that they would never do. But when they're in that state of mind of jealousy, their mind goes into another direction and they end up doing something that isn't the right thing to do because they are so filled with all these jealous rages. And this is what happened in September of 2015 in Dallas, Texas, over a decade ago, when a beautiful young dentist is brutally murdered outside of her vehicle in a parking garage. Dr. Kendra Hatcher was born on February 3rd, 1980 in Springfield, Illinois to her parents. She had one brother and one sister. She was the all-American girl. She was beautiful, she was sweet, she was loving, she was compassionate. She was the head cheerleader for her cheer team. She was a devout Christian. She went on mission trips to help build churches. She led Bible studies for low-income children. After graduating from high school, Kendra decided to go to college, and that is where she majored in biochemistry and Spanish. After graduating from college, Kendra set her sights on dental school. And in 2015, Dr. Kendra Hatcher accepted a position at Smile Zone, a dental practice that provided high-end dentistry to children of disadvantaged backgrounds. Now, y'all, when I did my research on Kendra, I was shocked. I was floored. This woman had it all. She was sweet. She was so compassionate, so kind. I mean, this girl helped build churches. She led Bible studies. She worked at a place that helped disadvantaged children. She was just a wonderful, wonderful person. And that's when a person like me wants to step back and say, oh gosh, I wish I could be like that. That kind of shuts me up because this girl's just, she does it all. And she did. She had it all. But not only was she sweet, loving, and kind, but she was beautiful. She was beautiful inside and out and had a beautiful soul. And that's why people loved Kendra, because she was an all-around perfect woman for a lot of people. And a lot of people wanted to be around Kendra. A lot of people loved the fact that Kendra was around them. And everyone that knew her, when I watched the interview, all said the same thing. Kendra was a wonderful, sweet person. In 2015, Kendra met a doctor by the name of Dr. Ricky Pangau on the dating app Tinder. Ricky was originally from Northern California. He later attended Stanford Medical School, and in 2011, he moved to Dallas, Texas to finish up his residency in dermatology. When he moved to Dallas in 2011, he met a young dental hygienist by the name of Brenda Delgado. Brenda Delgado was born on June 18th, 1982 in Mexico. And when Brenda was young, her father moved he and his wife, along with all 5 of their children, to Dallas, Texas to provide a better life for his family. Brenda was a devout Christian like Kendra. She was very ambitious. She had goals. She always wanted to be someone. And everyone that knew Brenda said the same thing about her. She was a very, very hard worker. She had multiple jobs at one time. She wanted to further her education. She was just a well-rounded woman. Kendra and Ricky dated for nearly 3 years. They even lived together. And it was also said at one point Brenda was pregnant with Ricky's child. They were very close. However, they were never serious enough to discuss marriage or to even get engaged or to even be married. However, when Ricky met Kendra, he was captivated by Kendra. He was drawn to Kendra, and who wouldn't be? She was a great, great person inside and out. And even though even though Ricky and Brenda dated for almost 3 years, he didn't feel the same way as he did about Kendra. And even though he knew Kendra for a very short amount of time, he knew that he wanted to be serious with Kendra. He wanted to spend the rest of his life with Kendra. And a lot of people say that these two were making serious plans about getting engaged and one day getting married. And like I've always said, when you know, you know. When you know, you know. Meaning, you could be with someone for 3 years and not really feel that connection. It's there, but it's not really there. You don't feel like this is your person. Then all of a sudden, you meet someone new and you are with them for only 3 months and you're like, that's it. This is the person for me. This is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. This person captivated me, and I know this is my soulmate. And this is what Ricky was feeling when he was with Kendra. He didn't have that same feeling for Brenda, but he felt it with Kendra. Labor Day weekend was coming up, 2015, and Ricky and Kendra wanted to take a trip to Cancun. It is the Wednesday before Labor Day, September 2nd, 2015, when Kendra Hatcher pulls into a parking garage, parks her car. Then all of a sudden, people hear shots and screams. The police rush to the scene, and that is when they find 35-year-old Kendra Hatcher deceased. She had been fatally shot. Everyone was just stunned. This was a very upscale part of Dallas, Texas. Who would want to murder this beautiful 35-year-old dentist? Was it a burglary gone wrong? Was this random? Was this planned? Was Kendra a target? What was it? And of course, the police are looking at surveillance cameras. And that is when they find a Jeep circling the parking garage. And then when Kendra drives up to her parking spot, a Jeep pulls up near Kendra's spot. Kendra's only parked for about 2 seconds when a person gets out of the Jeep. You see the person getting out, then all of a sudden you see the person running back to the Jeep, getting in on the passenger side, and a person speeding off. So there are 2 people involved. There is a driver and there is a passenger. When police present Ricky, Kendra's boyfriend, with all of this evidence, with all of this surveillance, he says, that looks like my ex-girlfriend, Brenda Delgado. Then an auto mechanic calls and says, hey, that Jeep belongs to me. And I lent that Jeep to Brenda Delgado while her car was getting worked on. So this is 2 people that named Brenda Delgado in or around this area. So the police knew they had to talk to Brenda Delgado. So 2 days after the murder, on September 4th, 2015, the police bring in Brenda Delgado as they would like to interview her, and they want to know what does she know. Most people are very nervous when they go in for an interview with a police officer or a detective. I know when I went in and interviewed a police officer, a detective, when I was working on the Derek Todd Lee case in Zachary, Louisiana, I was so nervous. I wasn't even in trouble. I wasn't getting interviewed. I was interviewing someone. However, I was still very nervous because you are in this little bitty room and you are speaking with a police officer or detective, a person of the law. However, Brenda Delgado was very calm, cool, and collected. She wasn't nervous at all. She was discussing Jesus. She was discussing God. She was discussing her church. She even looked at the detective and said, oh, that bracelet you have on, I know that bracelet. I have that bracelet. She was just like it was another day, just talking to an old friend. The police ask her, do you know Dr. Kendra Hatcher? She says no. They even showed Brenda a picture of Dr. Kendra Hatcher. You sure you don't know her? She's like, oh no, I don't know who that is. Really? 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 Come on, y'all. And I know I'm not the only one. We have all done this. When you get into a relationship with someone, the first thing you do is you want to know all about them. You want to go on their social media page. You want to see who they dated, what they did with that person, how long they've been broken up. And if you are an ex, you go to your ex's page and you say, well, I want to know who they're dating now. Let me go check it out. We've all done it. I know I have, and most people in the world have. That's the first thing they do. They're going to go to that person's social media page and they want to see what that ex looked like. So Brenda's saying she doesn't know who Kendra is. I wasn't buying it from the beginning. That didn't make any kind of sense. But she sat there very calm and she was like, oh no, I don't know. I don't know who that is. No. And that's when they tell her, well, you know, this is your ex-boyfriend, Ricky's girlfriend. Oh, really? Well, we've been broken up. I don't know anything about him or her or what they do with each other. You know, that's them. We've been broken up for a long time. So if he has a girlfriend, good for him. But I didn't even know he had a girlfriend. I don't know what he was doing with his life at the time. She is very adamant that she does not know who Dr. Kendra Hatcher is. The police start to discuss the crime with Brenda Delgado. They ask her, were you around this area? Because we have people that are saying that you were around this area at the time. And she says, absolutely not. I was nowhere near that area. I was at the library all day studying, and you could even check that out. I have witnesses. I was with people. And after that, I went to Chili's. In fact, I still have my receipt somewhere in here, and hands her Chili's receipt off to the police officer. Don't y'all find that a little too good? Who walks around with their receipts? Maybe some of y'all do. I don't. But she just handed them a receipt from 2 days ago. Like, oh yeah, I still have my receipt. Here you go. Take it. Just was very, very odd to me. And then Brenda says, well, I let my friend Crystal Cortez use that Jeep. And she's the one that dropped me off at the library. The detective said, oh, really? She said, yes. They asked her, well, we need Crystal's phone number. And she gave Crystal's phone number. She handed Crystal off in a silver platter to the detectives. She was like, here y'all go. The police bring in Crystal Cortez. Brenda's in one room. Crystal's in another room. They're interviewing both of them. And they are playing cat and mouse with Brenda and Crystal. And Crystal was telling all kinds of stories. She gives several stories. Finally, Crystal Cortez admits that, yes, she was in that parking garage, and she finally tells the truth. She says that Brenda Delgado paid her $500 and maybe some drugs to be the driver in this getaway vehicle. That is what she tells the police officers. The police officers know at this point that Brenda Delgado has something to do with the murder of Dr. Kendra Hatcher. They knew she had her hand in it somewhere. They just didn't know where she played in this case. Was she in the Jeep? Where was she at the time? And the number one thing police wanted to know was Crystal Cortez telling the truth, because Crystal Cortez was telling several stories. Crystal said that Brenda wanted it to look like a robbery. She said, take her purse, take her ID, do what you got to do, and hurry up and drive away. Of course, police arrest Crystal Cortez. However, they do not have enough evidence to charge Brenda Delgado with the murder of Kendra Hatcher. So when they look into Brenda, they find out that she has several outstanding parking tickets. So they arrest Brenda Delgado for outstanding parking tickets. However, due to crowding in the jail, Brenda Delgado is released from jail. And just hours after being released, Brenda Delgado is en route to Mexico, fleeing the country. The FBI puts out a $100,000 reward to find Brenda Delgado. When police interview Ricky, he says, I really think that Brenda was stalking me. She would show up at my salsa lessons. She would show up on my running path and I was running. She always knew where I would be. And unbeknownst to Ricky, Britta Delgado had been tracking all of his activities since their breakup in 2015. She knew his password to his iCloud. She had access to his email account. She had a key to his apartment. She had an app to track his location on his cell phone. She knew all of Ricky's activities. She knew exactly where Ricky was going to be at all times. Ricky had no idea that Brenda was tracking his every move. When police looked through Brenda's cell phone records and Crystal Cortez's cell phone records, a number kept coming up. This certain number. And when police presented this number to Crystal Cortez, that is when she says, oh yes, that's the shooter's phone number. And that shooter's name is Christopher Love, a small-time marijuana drug dealer. And they wanted to talk to Christopher Love. They wanted to know, was he the shooter? Was he in the area at this time? On October 2nd, 2015, the police bring in Christopher Love and they hold him for 22 hours. And the entire time he is saying, I don't know Brenda, I don't know Kendra, I don't know Crystal, I don't know what y'all talking about. I wasn't involved in this murder and I'm not talking. He sat there for almost 24 hours and did not want to discuss anything with the police officer. The detective asks Christopher Love, do you own a firearm? And Christopher Love says, no, I don't own a firearm. I don't have a firearm. It just so happened that day that a ATF dog was there named Titan. And the police were in possession of Christopher Love's vehicle. And when Titan searched Christopher Love's vehicle, they did in fact find a firearm. When police come back into the interview room and present Christopher Love with the evidence, they say, is this your firearm? Because it was in your vehicle. So is this yours? He takes a deep breath and realizes it's all over. They have my firearm. He says, yes, that's mine. Yes, it is mine. So police know that Christopher Love is in fact involved in the murder of Dr. Kendra Hatcher. He says that Britta Delgado promised him a lifetime supply of cocaine and drugs, and this is why he was in on this murder. He looks at the police officer and says, when are y'all gonna go get Brenda? And they said, we're gonna go get her. He said, well, y'all came and got me, so y'all need to go and get Brenda. Brenda Delgado was completely obsessed with Ricky and Kendra. She wanted Kendra Hatcher gone before they could go on their trip to Cancun. She was so obsessed that when the police downloaded Brenda's cell phone, they found dozens of pictures of Brenda and Ricky, of Kendra and Ricky. Now, I thought Brenda says that she didn't even know who Kendra Hatcher was. Oh no, she knew exactly who she was because she had downloaded several pictures of Dr. Kendra Hatcher. Crystal Cortez takes a plea deal. She takes a plea deal of 35 years to testify in Christopher Love's case. She accepts that deal. She says that Britta Delgado paid her $500, even showed the picture of the money in the shape of a heart to the jury. And she says that Brenda wanted Kendra Hatcher gone. She wanted her to be eliminated. She wanted Kendra out of the picture. And when the interviewer interviewed Crystal Cortez, he says, why on earth would you be involved in a murder for $500? You were put in on all of this for $500? You know what she says to the interviewer? She says, you must not know what it is to be broke. So this girl, Crystal, she was taken advantage of by Brenda Delgado. It takes the jury only 3 hours to find Christopher Love guilty of murdering Dr. Kendra Hatcher. He is sentenced to death. However, where is Brenda? Well, after 6 months of being on the run, Brenda Delgado is found in a small town in Mexico. She is brought back to the United States where her trial begins. And when she walks into the courtroom, her hair is pulled back. She has her glasses on. She looks like a sweet, innocent woman. Ricky, her ex, says he had no idea that Brenda had access to all of his accounts, had a key to his apartment, was tracking his cell phone. He had no clue any of this was going on. He even says that he sent Brenda an email talking about Kendra, how much in love he was with Kendra. And he didn't know Brenda was feeling this type of way. However, she was. She was fuming. And get this, Crystal Cortez and Christopher Love were the only ones that Brenda asked to hurt Dr. Kendra Hatcher. She had asked her cousin. She showed her cousin a bat and asked him to beat up Kendra Hatcher with this bat. And Brenda's roommate said all Brenda discussed was getting rid of Kendra and Ricky. She wanted Kendra out of the picture. She wanted Ricky to herself. And the night before they were supposed to leave for Cancun, Dr. Kendra Hatcher is brutally murdered. Brenda did not want them to take this trip. Crystal Cortez says she, Christopher Love, and Brenda Delgado are all guilty of committing this murder. They were all in on it. Crystal says that Brenda wanted it to look like a robbery gone bad. However, Brenda was all over the place. Brenda was the common denominator in this case. Crystal Cortez and Christopher Love had no connection to Kendra Hatcher. None. So the police knew that Brenda Delgado was the common denominator. And it took the jury only 20 minutes to find Brenda Delgado guilty. She is sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Now I want to discuss jealousy with y'all. I want to discuss how dangerous this emotion can be. It can lead to very toxic and abusive behavior. It can also lead to hurting someone over what you're feeling at the time. But it's not worth it. We have all been in the position. All of us have been in the position when you are feeling some type of jealousy towards someone else. It could be their job. It could be their home. It could be their spouse. It could be their partner, their boyfriend, their girlfriend. You always have this feeling, especially when you get broken up with and you are still in love with that person. You want to go after that person. You want to confront them. You want to confront their lover. There's all of these emotions just running through your system and you don't know how to handle it, okay? We have all been there. But what you have to stop and think at that moment is, if that person is ending their relationship with you, it is because that person knows what's good for them, and that person knows that you are not the person for them. And it could be just that person not in their right state of mind to have a relationship at the time. They don't want to hurt you, so they let you go. So you always have to think about things like that. And in my opinion, if I break up with someone, let's just say I break up with someone, I know what's good for me, and I'm letting that person go because I know what's good for me. And the one thing that would really set me off and pull me even further away from that person is that person stalking me, that person coming after me, that person coming, showing up at my house, my job, all of this stuff. However, in this case, Ricky had no clue that Brenda was doing all of this. He had no clue that Brenda was stalking him. In reality, Brenda was raging with jealousy. And I bet now, when she looks back, none of this was worth it. She did not have to do any of this. She could have moved on with her life. She could have got therapy. In time, she would have moved on from Ricky and accepted they were no longer together. But she did not want to accept that. She wanted Ricky all to herself. So before y'all do anything rash, before y'all say things that are hurtful, before y'all go crazy on someone, just stop and think to yourself, this isn't worth it. There are so many people out there, and if this person doesn't want to be with me, I don't need to be with them. I'm going to move on. I'm going to find a person who wants me for me, to accept me for me. So y'all always think about that. Jealousy is dangerous. However, you could control your own emotions. My final thought, I always give y'all my final thought. And my final thought is, this definitely did not have to happen. This could have gone a different route. However, Brenda didn't choose the right way. She chose the wrong way. And I can't believe that Brenda actually thought she was going to get away with murder. What was she going to do? She was going to murder the person her ex-boyfriend loved and thought they were going to be together for the rest of their life? No, she was never going to get away with this murder. Everything is on surveillance cameras now. Everything is tracked by your cell phone. You cannot get away with murder these days. And instead of Brenda just moving on with her life, she decided to resort to murder and then drug 2 other people in with her. This was not the right thing to do. Like I said earlier, it is very easy to become jealous of someone. It is very easy to stalk someone these days. However, you yourself as a person have to just take a step back and say to yourself, this is not worth it. Let me go for a walk instead. Let me listen to music instead. Let me go to work instead. Let me not focus all of my time and energy on this person, especially if they don't want to be with me. I'm not going to go put all kind of time and effort in someone that I know doesn't want to be with me, that's playing me. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Ricky and Kendra are very happy, and Brenda did not want to accept that. So if you know your ex is happy with someone else, let it go. I know it's hard. I've been in that position before. I know it's hard, but in time, it will get easier and easier and easier. I promise y'all. I promise you. And my thoughts and prayers go out to Dr. Kendra Hatcher's family. I hope y'all remember the happy memories with her. And I hope y'all know that she is smiling down on all of you. Y'all are in my thoughts and prayers every day. And as always, stay safe, always be aware of your surroundings, and always know that I'm here for each and every one of you. I hope after this video that you like, subscribe, and comment. And don't forget to press notification bell so you never miss a video from me, Anne Marie. And as always, thank you all for joining me on this Wicked Wednesday evening. And I hope to see y'all next week. And as always, thank y'all for the love and support. And for you, I am truly grateful. I love each and every one of y'all. And I hope y'all have an amazing night. Bye.